soon as you're ready, Mayor.
I'd like to call this meeting to order.
We'll take roll.
Roll call.
Commissioner Rabinovich,
Here.
Commissioner Stuvisan, Commissioner Lama,
Here.
Vice Mayor Viscara,
Here.
Mayor Goldman,
Here.
all members present.
Pledge?
That's it.
Okay. Mr. Lou Thaler, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 2, resolutions. We're going to take the public comments now. So if there are any public comments, I have 2 public speaker cards. Mr. Greg Capra, you have 2 speaker cards. One is for information and one is for. So if you'd like to speak now.
Speak now?
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Can you state your name and address, please?
Sure. Greg Capra, 257 Poinciana Island Drive. To express my thoughts within the 3 minutes, I'll read my statement. The Sunny Isles Beach truth story continues. In the last meeting, Mayor Goldman said, as you know, City Manager Chris Russo has resigned. Most did not know. Why he resigned was on everyone's mind. Goldman followed by, I want to be transparent and open. Residents have been concerned about a lack of transparency in the city. Goldman told us. Chris said he would be leaving, and we talked about his date and leave and severance. In the next moment, we were told it was a termination, a firing. But the termination was for the benefit of Chris, as we were told. No one believes that Chris resigned without political pressure. Termination appears to be a political payback move and a stain on Sunny Isles Beach. While a reason is not required to terminate, reasons should be told why the city manager at 15 years is fired. Not told he was fired for convenience. This meeting was painful to watch for many reasons, the least of which was the hatchet job on Mr. Russo. Alex, your comments and manner in the meeting communicated your genuine discomfort for what was happening. Your initial effort to stop the injustice is appreciated. It's disappointing you didn't stand your ground. Adding to the intrigue at City Hall, at the same time we learned that Goldman is firing Chris for convenience, we learned that Stan Morris, who was fired recently, is being hired as an interim city manager and will be voted on for a permanent rehire. Why was Stan Morris fired? The commission should know. A report of just cause is not enough. Ed, after the last meeting, you received a complaint from a woman about her workplace sexual harassment related to Stan Morris. Also, an anonymous letter claiming sexual harassment and the city corruption was sent to the commissioners recently. That letter triggered a costly internal investigation into those sexual misconduct allegations. The claim of sexual harassment against Stan Morris must also be investigated and provided to the commission before a vote to hire. Everyone working in the city must know they are safe from sexual harassment and abuse of power. The commission and public must know the truth related to workplace sexual harassment at the city of Sunny Isles Beach. For that reason, a vote about hiring Stan Morris should be tabled. Today, transparency between the city of Sunny Isles Beach and residents is certainly an issue. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all we have for public speakers?
That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to the resolutions.
Okay, 2A is a resolution ratifying the consultant agreement with Christopher J. Russo to provide the city with professional services and a general acknowledgement, waiver, and release agreement.
City Attorney?
Pursuant to the directions we received last week, we've negotiated 2 agreements with Mr. Russo. One of them is a consultant agreement whereby he'll provide consulting services to the city until May 31st of 2022, and the other is a general acknowledgement, waiver, and release agreement, which he's already signed. We sent to you a little earlier this afternoon a slightly amended version that just changed a little bit of the terminology in section 2C to reflect the fact that it previously showed his resignation. In fact, we've changed it to the date of December 1. And in section number number 10, we changed the language to provide that if the city manager's office receives a request from a prospective employer, that they'll provide a positive recommendation for Mr. Russo. But if elected officials, if you receive that, you can either provide a positive recommendation or choose not to provide any recommendation at all, just to make clear for you and for him that negative recommendations are not required. And so what I would respectfully request is that you go ahead and approve this with the substituted version. I believe we provided to the clerk's office.
Do we have any comments?
No, just a
Just a
motion or a
vote?
discussion amongst the commission. And
Okay.
if there's none, then you
Any-
can just entertain the motion.
Okay, so Chris has executed, the city manager has executed this,
He has, and he's also agreed to those 2 small changes that I just discussed.
okay. So we take a motion?
Yes.
Take a motion, do I need to pass the gavel, or anybody
No.
can take a motion from
Yeah,
the floor?
one of
Okay.
the other members can do a motion.
So moved. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you.
motion passes.
Motion passes, yes. Next item is 2B, a resolution approving an agreement with Stanley E. Morris for the position of city manager of the city of Sunny Isles Beach.
The city attorney?
Yes, Mayor, Commissioners, pursuant to your instructions, we've communicated with Mr. Morris and negotiated an agreement that is similar to the agreement that the city has entered into with previous city managers. I'd just point out that his salary would be $210,000, which is less than what the previous manager was making at the as of last week. And the rest of the provisions are pretty much, if not identical, to previous agreements that the city's entered into with previous city managers.
Any comments or any from
No, not for this
from
one.
the commission? It's just a,
Yeah, so
The
we
other
only
commissioners?
received one comment just now, but that's a general discussion. It's not for any particular item. Is that correct, Felix? Okay, so yeah. So now, if discussion amongst the commission, if none, then we can take a motion.
No, I don't
any
think-
discussion? Any motion? Motion?
So moved.
Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes unanimously.
So now, if you want to take that comment, Mayor, from Felix, the one that I
Yes,
just gave you.
Felix. Mr. Kisner?
Thank you very much. My name is Felix Kisner. I live in 251 74th Street, and I've been an owner and resident since 2000. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you very much for finally making a change. That's what we voted for. I voted for a change. I voted for transparency. I've been attending these meetings for a while. One thing I've noticed, and by the way, Mr. Lama, you made a nice gesture, and you suggested that after being 3 years of commissioner, you want to know what's going on, and you want transparency. So can we make a system in such a way that commissioners can be more involved in it? And I think one of the ways is getting the transparency in. I may be speaking a little low. I got my booster shot just now, by the way, if anybody needs to get it, great place right here in the city. So it's not an easy road to transparency. It does require changes. And most of all, it requires decisions which are difficult and are not going to please everybody. But this is not a popularity contest. This is something that you guys are going to have to do to make the city finally face up to what has happened to it, overbuilding, overconstruction, and finally I'm starting to see the policemen starting to pull over people on Collins Avenue, the motor police gate. Finally, I'm starting to see them do that. That's a great job, and I see cars are slowing down, besides the traffic that we have a problem with. But I just want to say, if you want to make a change, no change is comfortable. Transparency is not easy. But having a key person who should have been there doing all that, removing him, that's a first and very important step, without which there could be no change. My name is Felix, and I'm done speaking. Thank you.
No further comments?
No further comments. No, if there's no
So-
other business, then we can
Move to
adjourn.
adjourn?
A motion from one of the commissioners. Thank
So
you.
moved? Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.